It was a Friday afternoon and I was round at Jake's house. We were both in his living room playing on his Xbox whilst his mother was doing some paperwork. I'd met Jake through school. We were both aged 15 at the time and I'd be at the same school since I was age 11. Jake, however, had moved from a different school about a month ago, so we hadn't known each other that long. But we were fast become best friends, which was great because whilst I'd made lots of friends, I hadn't got anyone else I would say as a best friend. We were getting on so well we had already decided that same day to have a sleepover that evening. Jake had just beaten me on a racing game that we were playing. Text on the screen said game over, which was kind of a relief as I needed the bathroom anyway. I told Jake I did and he told me his bathroom was upstairs. Back in a minute, I said as I got up and made my way slowly upstairs. As I made my way to the top, I overheard Jake and his mother start talking. I could hear them pretty well and was curious at the time if they'd say anything about me. Jake, honey, his mother said, I know your friend's staying over tonight but you still have to wear a diaper tonight as usual. Yeah, whatever, Jake replied as if implying he would, but she didn't need to point out the obvious. I stood there at the top of the stairs still as a statue. I felt a mixture of surprise and excitement and had butterflies in my tummy. This news, to be honest, was brilliant to hear as I wore diapers too. I myself was not a bedwetter and hadn't been for some years. I didn't have any kind of incontinence either. I was, however, into wearing diapers. I'm what some might call a TBDL, which is an acronym for Teen Baby Diaper Lover. I assumed from evidence of hanging round with him that Jake must only wear them for bedwetting at night and wasn't hiding incontinence or something, because I'd inadvertently seen Jake get dressed for sports at school, and like most of the other boys in our class including myself, he wore boxer shorts. Plus I'd also happened to have seen him standing at the urinals. I carried on upstairs and found where the bathroom was, but instead made a turn and went into Jake's room, which I had been in earlier to pick out the Xbox game we had just been playing. This I know was quite impolite and nosy of me, sneaking into other people's bedrooms. I admit that was wrong of me, but truth be told I wanted to see the diapers and maybe, if I'm honest, steal one. I opened up his wardrobe first. Nothing but shirts and jackets hung up in there along with a school blazer. I carefully closed it, trying not to make lots of noise, which I managed. I then tried a chest of 4 white drawer. The top drawer contained boxers and socks. I closed it. The second had t-shirts in it. The third had trousers, and last but not least I opened the fourth and final drawer, and bingo. This drawer had some ordinary pajamas in them, folded neatly. But next to them, like I was hoping, were diapers. Plain white cloth back adult-sized disposal diapers. I felt accomplished for having found them and took one of them out and inspected it. I had no idea what the brand was but thought they looked cool. Having a sneaky look at the diapers were enough for me, and I decided not to steal it after all, as I didn't feel right doing so to Jake. Plus I had some of my own at home and there were only 3 in Jake's drawer, so he'd probably notice if I stole one. I put the diaper back, carefully shut the drawer, then tiptoed towards the bathroom, went for the pee that I'd intended to do in the first place, flushed, washed hands, then went back downstairs where me and Jake carried on playing on the Xbox game. It was a Friday afternoon and I was round at Jake's house. We were both in his living room playing on his Xbox whilst his mother was doing some paperwork. I'd met Jake through school. We were both aged 15 at the time and I'd be at the same school since I was age 11. Jake, however, had moved from a different school about a month ago, so we hadn't known each other that long. But we were fast become best friends, which was great because whilst I'd made lots of friends, I hadn't got anyone else I would say as a best friend. We were getting on so well we had already decided that same day to have a sleepover that evening. Jake had just beaten me on a racing game that we were playing. Text on the screen said game over, which was game. It was 7:30 p.m. and I was back at home packing for the sleepover. I'd laid out pajamas, clothes for tomorrow, and one of my Tina slips. This discovery about Jake had made me even more want to let Jake know that I wore diapers too. I had tried several times in the past to try and tell him, but I often chickened out and got embarrassed, and even knowing now that he wore them I still don't think I could get the words out. Tonight though, I'd got a plan. When packing my pajamas, I'd only pack my pajama top and the diaper but not take my pajama bottoms with me. That way, unless I wanted to be waist down naked, I'd have to wear the diaper on show in front of him and I wouldn't have to try and tell him because he'd see for himself. I packed the clothes for tomorrow: jeans, sports brand t-shirt, socks, and underwear. Then my green pajama top and the Tina slip into my rucksack, then said goodbye to my parents, then left to go to Jake's again for the sleepover. I was so excited. Back at Jake's house, we'd spend the early evening playing more video games for a while, before watching TV, specifically a few episodes of the show Top Gear, which we both loved. Around 10 p.m., the moment finally came. Jake and me decided to put our pajamas on even if we wouldn't be going to bed just yet. Jake had got his pajamas out and I'd noticed he'd used his pajamas as a shield when getting the diaper out the drawer to conceal it, presumably so I wouldn't see. Jake went to get changed in the bathroom, leaving me the bedroom to get changed in with the TV left on turned down low. I took my pajamas and the diaper out my rucksack, then got undressed. I put my pajama top on and picked up the diaper. Now my heart was beating 10 to the dozen. I was nervous. Very soon my friend would come into the room to find me casually wearing a diaper as if it was the most ordinary thing in the world. In this moment, different conclusions to the result of my plan to deliberately getting caught rushed round my head. I partly wished I hadn't thought of this plan as I sat there staring down at the diaper in my hand, trying to figure out what I would do in what felt like hours. I sat there until I heard a creak in the floorboards in the bathroom next door. I assumed Jake was about to come out. I decided it was now or never. I couldn't sit there forever just holding a diaper. If he came back with me just holding it, it might look suspicious. Whereas him coming in to find me wearing it might show that I felt comfortable enough around him to not need feel embarrassed about it. I had decided if he asked though, I would tell him I wore it because they made me feel more secure and would not make up some lie about bedwetting or incontinence. I unfolded the diaper, not bothering to try and cover up the noise. I then slipped it under my butt, did up the tapes quickly. As soon as the fourth tape had been done, I heard the lock on the bathroom door open. I sat up on the bed waiting for Jake to return and wondering how he'd react. Then sure enough, Jake entered the room. He had a bulk in his pajama bottoms, obviously having put a diaper on himself. He glanced towards me and I said yo. He said yo back.